संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोः श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमस्ते अधिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। See, Trinachiketas Piditva Abhijam Chanto after 18th school. It leads to realization identity with Virat. Is okay. See, there is a gradation in this thing, you know. See, at the individual level, it is Jeev Jagat. Then at the samashti, it is Virat. So the becomes much more, you know, expanded, enlarged. See, when you are at the limited way, when you have an identity, there is one. But if you have a larger and larger identity, those feelings become more expanded. You know, the details of sacrifice. He who knows that the details of sacrifice, fixed bees, etc., number, always meditating is one with Virat. Such a person throws even before death all bonds and tyrants and other humans weak. Going beyond all, he enjoys the heaven, being conscious that he is one with the Virat. So it becomes, that's why he goes to that kind of a heaven where it's a superior kind of a manifestation. From the individual limited self, he has become kind of a cosmic, that Virat, that kind of a larger identity. It's a going to heaven, going to Brahma, it's all expands for a kind of identity. Where you get because normally our human life is subject to limitation. इतनी सारी वर्ष maximum 100 साल 110 साल मान लीजिए. But there is अनंत काल तक आपकी कोई यही नहीं है. And also from there, largely they get that what is called krama mukti. They go to beyond a certain level. धीरे धीरे मुक्त भी हो जाते हैं. So in that sense, it's a kind of a stepping stone to a higher life or a higher testing.
So what can be the Maharaj, this Nachiketa Yagya is what exactly? Kind of a fire?
Yeah, it's on nowadays it's on. See, Swarga Kamo Ejeta, if you want to have Swarga, if you desire for Swarga, you have to do Yajna. Like that, the Vishwajit, who does Vishwajit Yajna today? Like that, these are all Vedic Yug mein, actually in the time of Vedas, there was no upasana of Murti, etc., gods, They came from the Puran ki samay aaya. So those days is only yajnas, or various type of yajnas. यहाँ के लिए आपको चाहिए ऐसा करिए, आपका पुत्र चाहिए पुत्र का चाहिए, स्वर्ग चाहिए ऐसे नचिकेत, like the various yajnas used to happen. And it was bounden duty of every Brahmana to do yajna. So like that, because of the Israel, Upanishads are texts dating to thousands of years ago. So in that it is being discussed. Now it is not much of a significant as on date, you see. Only thing is, you can say that Nachiketa in his first two boons, हर तरीका जो सुख का संभव है सब प्राप्त कर लीजिए. That much you can say. In the limited, unlimited, जो भी है, like that you know, having an individual is something, or having a whole Rajya empire, from becoming an individual rich man to Adani and Ambani, that's a प्राप्त कर लिया. So you can, so that way the idea is the first two verses he completely, even to some extent, as if anything is beyond death also, वहाँ भी जैसे आप अच्छा रह सकते हैं उसका भी उन्होंने बस Then he goes further because क्योंकि तब मैं खुद का नहीं जानता हूँ, मेरा ऐसा कोई स्वर्ग प्राप्त हुआ, मैं क्या करूँ, क्या पता है मेरा. First of all, I should know myself. Without knowing that, how can one conceive of what will happen if I go to heaven? That means beyond that what happens, that is the first thing we should know. That's why he asked the third question. Some say people survive, some say people die. Let me know. That's how he started. Before that, सब रख लिया जेब में, बस he gathered everything. But then he really wanted to know what it is, how it happens.
Swamiji, then if we see, Nachiketa was such an intelligent kid in comparison
Super
to
intelligent.
Prahlad and Dhruvji. He got everything without any tapasya. Because of his vivek, his questions only he got everything.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, this is also a very important thing. But then see, उस दिनों में जो प्रहलाद एंड ध्रुव वे राजकुमार, उनका जीवन में क्या त्याग तपस्या, पहले तो कुछ नहीं था. Only when they went to the forest they did. But ऋषि कुमार, their daily life itself was a तपस्या. जो अरण्य में रहते थे, and they used to, so there are extraordinary the viveka and vairagya janam se unna. So rishis, they had family, but rishis were never considered worldly people. They were all great purushas, many of them were brahmajnas. So naturally Nachiketa was far superior in that sense. So we are in that now, so Sreya and Priya, that you also asked Nandini, that question also, they bind in the sense, one binds one in a worldly way. प्रेयस क्या करते हैं, ये जगत में जो मिलना, प्राप्त करना, भोग आदि, वही रास्ता में बांध देता है. दूसरा आपका अध्यात्म दिशा में बांध देता है. It's also in that sense, bandhan means not in the sense of limitation that directs you to go in that particular path. Or also you can say that limitation also will be there till you get the highest. That way also you can look at it. So mainly from now onwards, first he tried to dissuade him, saying so many things, बहुत सारे प्रलोभन दिखाया, but Nachiketa was not to be tempted. जब वो समझ लिया है ना, पहले ने उनको बोल दिया मैं आप कुछ नहीं चाहिए, I don't want anything else, this is the only boon I need. Now he's kind of slowly trying to prepare him. How does it happen? What is the nature of life, etc. That is why this chapter 2 begins with this kind of a discussion. See, mainly, the Atma Gyan is not something which can be got through Buddhi. Buddhi has limitations because Buddhi, what is obtained to Buddhi, it's all largely, the Atma Gyan obtained to Buddhi is Paroksha Gyan. It is not Aparoksha Gyan. So Paroksha Gyan means यहाँ सुना, उसी से हुआ, it is not exactly direct. तो आपने जितने अच्छे कॉलेज में जाके भी पढ़ाई करी है, वेदांत किताब भी पढ़े, अच्छे कोई प्रोफेसर भी आपको सिखाए, then also however much he teaches, always there is kintu रह जाता है. There is something it is not clear, it is not clear, there is something that is left, there is something. So that asandigdha, without any doubt, that kind of knowledge is never possible through buddhi. And also, then viparya, aviparya also says, there is although we are not the karta, the bhokta, we are not the real enjoyer, जितने भी आप सिर्फ किताब पढ़ें बोलें, still we imagine ourselves to be the karta and the bhokta. So all these things cannot go through buddhi alone. Moreover, you see, the main purpose of the Upanishads or for that Gyan, Atma Gyan, is संपूर्ण रूप से संसार बंधन की अज्ञान की निवारण दूरीकरण. Complete cessation of the ajnana generated out of samsara or this life. But the ajnana due to samsara or that is pratyaksha. It is clear. We literally feel it is happening. Our experiences, our sufferings, our dukkha, everything, it is all very directly experienced by us. So this paroksha, this pratyaksha agyan cannot be removed by paroksha agyan. Indirect knowledge through books, through acharya, through studies, etc., cannot remove this pratyaksha agyan or the pratyaksha dukkha, etc. Ignorance which is direct cannot be removed by indirect knowledge. So that is why this will go only when there is a aparoksha jnana, or which is kind of a self-revealed at that time. So that's why he says the people go in these two lines, but only those Shreyo hi dhiro hi preso vrinite preyo mando yomokshema vrinite. Only the Shreya, wise person, Viminakti Dhira, who is able to separate these two, because now they come in such a mixed form, as our friend also said in the morning. It's very difficult to segregate these two. Only you need a very Sukshmaya, Sukshmadashruti, Agriya, Buddhya, only that sharp intellect, concentrated, it is so focused, only it is possible. Otherwise, usually, if all are prey are victim to prayers, because now the differentiation, that segregation is very, very difficult. Because now the everything, all our experience, all our knowledge is from the senses. Or everything is from the senses. So we are so much used to sensory knowledge. Whatever we get from senses is directly attracts us, directly influences. So when even if somebody talks of anything which is beyond the senses, it is first of all very difficult to comprehend, much more difficult to practice and realize. But on the contrary, whatever is available through the senses, yes. And a similar thing we always see. If it is doing like this, it is doing that is like this. Because now each is conditioned by the world and the senses and our activity. So even to comprehend, that's why you say somewhere, very rare people hear, even amongst them very few understand, and still very few go further, other slokas will come subsequently. So that is the idea. So it is not possible to know like that. So he says in the next sloka, in the chapter 2, it is 3, he says, Sayevam priyan perupancha kaman avidyayan najiketo atyasrakshi naitam shrinkam pittamaniyam avapto yasyam majjanti bahavo manushyaha. Many people, but majjanti bahavo manushyaha. हजार लोग डूब जाते हैं, thousands of people get really immersed. But I have tempted you again. Priyan, Priyarupancha Kaman. Again, with everything they offered, you have rejected everything. Asra Shakshi, uses the word, he completely has Atyasrakshi, totally reject them. This Vittamaniyam, paved with gold, eating precious, etc. You are intelligent enough to understand that all the worldly things are useless. You rejected them outright. Many people are drowned in this. It's very difficult, is it not? Supposing somebody says, you take all this, I give you billions of rupees, this property, this, that, everything. Will anyone say, no, I don't want this, I only want Atmagyan? Who will say that? Everybody says, let me have a little. See, most of the people are ideas, this completely going in for that kind of a spiritual pursuit is very, very difficult. And constantly we are being told, अरे ज़्यादा मत करो, ज़्यादा करना ठीक नहीं है, ये भी थोड़ा रखो, वो भी थोड़ा रखो ना, ये भी है, धर्म तो हमें मना नहीं करता, वो भी करो, do a little dharma, but why you completely give up? And constantly the best part, the people want to take a very safe line. Let me have this and have a little that also, no harm. But these two lines, light and darkness, cannot go together. Either you have this, you have that. It cannot be, have you ever heard highly evolved people also living a wonderful, comfortable worldly life, most of them suffered terribly from the point of view of worldly life. Ramkrishna, the last 6 months, could not take any solid food even. Only had little suji pie for 6 months, 8 months. It was actually a skeleton when he really gave up the body. So, these things cannot be combined. But then, that doesn't mean that from tomorrow itself we will run away and all that. But one should at least understand. Only mentally, with our conscious mind, we should try to be away from all this as far as possible. Then as we intensify our practices, it is possible to even be more and more free from all this. That's why it says, next sloka 4, Duramete viparite vishuchi avidyayaj vidyeti jnata vidya vichinam nachiketa sammanye natma kama bhavo alolupanta. That is, secular and spiritual learning are opposite ends of a pole. Duramete viparite vishuchi. They are opposite of the nature. Avidya yacha vidyeti jnata. They are different and they have different purposes. This is well known, Nachiketa. I have found you intent on spiritual learning. Vidya vipsinam. Vipsi wanted only Vidya. Nachiketa sammanye. Tattva kama bhavolu. Although I tested in offering all kinds of attractive objects, you have not shown the least interest in them. So that is why Yama is very, very happy to teach him. And also he says the others, Avidyam, next sloka 5, Avidyam antare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam anyamanaha dandravyamanaha pariyanti muda andheneva niyamana ekanta. Like one blind leading the other blind. What will happen? Both will fall into well or fall down and die. So they are steeply avidya antare vartamana. They are steeped in worldliness, worldly pleasures. Swayam dhiraha panditam anyamana. They think that they are highly learned and pandits and all that. Grandhamyamana pariyanti muda. They are like, they know the scriptures very well. Although they are fools, they go around thinking, they are trying to lead others, they are pursued by sorrow, and then they have no other hope that way. Then all these says, आपका chapter 2 में 7 नंबर श्लोक में श्रवणायापि बहुभिर्यो न लभ्यः शृण्वन्तोऽपि बहवो यं न विद्युः आश्चर्य वक्ता कुशलों से लब्धा आश्चर्य ज्ञाता कुशलानुशिष्टा. That is, Sarvanayapi Vahubir Yona Labhya. For so happens, many do not have the opportunity even to hear about this self. इतना काम है, कहाँ समय है, कब सुनेंगे, सुबह से रात तक काम ही. We are so busy from morning to night. Where is the time? How to do all that? It's not possible. So many don't have even any, to hear about this self. अभी आश्रम में एक दिन उससे मैं आया तो अगले 3 दिन नहीं आ गए, क्योंकि एक दिन आ गया हो गया अटेंडेंस, अगले 3 दिन नहीं आए, जितने अच्छे भी हो समय नहीं. So he says श्रवणायापि बहुभिर् यो न लभ्यः. इसलिए जब भी आपका समय है, मन है, जैसी वो करते जाना है. See, अध्यात्म जीवन में कभी भी इंडाइजेशन नहीं होता है. आज बहुत जब किया तो 3 दिन नहीं करना, ऐसा नहीं है. आज किया कल फिर करो, परसों भी करो, जितना भी करो, बिकॉज नेवर इट ओवरफ्लोस, नेवर इज एनी इंडाइजेशन. जितना भी करो उतना अच्छा है. सो Simantophi bhavo yamna vidu. So even if they hear, many do not grasp what it means. Because it is very difficult to understand. Whatever, even if you hear, it may not make any sense at all to many of them. Astrikya vakta kushino se labdha. There is very few other persons who are competent to teach about this self. Because that's what we are saying. Even though there will be great professors in the college, universities, PhDs, double, triple PhDs. They may say, they may explain the text, they may give the inner meaning, nuances and all that. But that will not strike your heart, it will not really light up that which is waiting to be lighted up. So that will happen only when you hear from such. Why people go to extraordinary people like Ramana Maharshi, Islam? Why they? Because no, when they hear from them, immediately do it. Otherwise, however much the lucid the explanation might be, how much flowery the language, it will not happen. The very words, they become. In a small way, we have seen, actually, I literally saw Nathanji used to give a series of lectures in Delhi also. It came as a enlightened decision book. From that, some excerpts we took and we made a big program, gave to all the staff of State Bank. Now the selection was made by Jetal. So one day I was reading one of these selections, small. There's nothing in that. What is in this? There is nothing wonderful about it. Then what Swami says, a person must have great diction, vocabulary, this, that, makes no impression on the audience. Someone who is very ordinary, nothing. So when Maharaj used to go to the stage and speak, it's not the words, it's inner life. Simply it will light up the audience. So some of our very great speakers in the West also, somebody said when Shantatmananda used to speak, the whole audience would be simply charged. Because the words coming from them are not words, just a realization. So that is why he says, Ascharya Vakta Vashano Siddhanta. Not only the teacher, competent teach, those against Sirvan to be very accomplished. See, the qualifications that are talked about, like Nitya, Nitya Vasu, Viveka, Vairagya, Shagagamadi, Sampatti, Mumukshutva. How many students would you get like that? So neither such teachers would be available, nor very rare indeed. That's why finally he says, Austerity-nyata kusalanashishta. There is, very few, handful of persons attain that self-knowledge having been taught by highly accomplished teachers. Because it is, unless it is taught by such teachers, such great realized souls, it will not have. In fact, many of them may not even teach. Rinjavadon people will go to Ramana Maharshi, you will hardly speak. He will hardly speak. They will go and sit in his presence, that's all. He will be sitting. For hours they will be sitting. Simply they will feel up. Many have written, the moment they went to him, all our questions were solved automatically. We didn't have anything to ask him. God had so many questions. And of course, rarely he would speak also. But largely, just sitting in his presence. He is only some 75 years ago, the 1950 or 51, only 50 at a Mahasamara. Just sitting in his presence makes such a huge impression. Then it is 2:12. Na durdarsham gudam anupravishtam guhahitam gakvarishtam puranam adhyatma yogadi gamena devam matva dhiro harshashoko jahati. So it is na durdarsham. Tam durdarsham, it is difficult to see. Gudam anupravishtam, lying deep within, guhahitam, hidden in the intellect, gakvareshtam puranam. It is ancient, timeless. Then, adhyatma yogadi gamena, only a wise person, matma dhiro, adhyatma yogadi gamena. That is, by the realizing because of the Adhyatma Yoga, realizing Dhiraha Harsha Shoko Jahati goes beyond pressure and pain. It's a very important sloka. So since it is difficult to see, obviously it is not seen because all our seeing is only with respect to our senses, our India's eyes only see. Eyes cannot see, obviously it is. And then Gudam Anupravishta. It's hidden deep within. Guhahitam. Guhahitam. Gahvareshtam. In the deepest of the recesses, beyond the senses, hidden in the inside a cave like, in the heart. Guhahitam. So what is this that is being talked about? It's very deep, it's very difficult to see. That is Gudam Anupravishtam, where one cannot, the intellect cannot penetrate or say. And also, these two are almost very similar words he has used. Guahitam, Gahvareshtam, Puranam. And then this the Gahvareshtam also, the deepest of the recesses, and then Guahitam also hidden in the heart, etc. So, it is the general idea is this is felt in the heart. Actually, in some other, I think, Vedantika says, Hridayeti Janati. It is realized only in the heart. That's why, most of the great sadhakas, they say that first the heart is the real center of this kind of a realization. It is felt deep within the heart. It is very intuitively felt. It's not that kind of the pratyaksha jnana that we have about the objects and other things. It is not like that. ऐसा नहीं है जो देखते हैं जो सुनते हैं ऐसा नहीं है लेकिन अंदर ही उसकी अनुभव and this is because see in one sense intuitively all of us know feel हमेशा ही अनुभव भी करते हैं बोलते हैं क्योंकि because what is this what we always talk of this I what is that we see because everything is related to that is my eyes, my ears, my senses, my mind, my buddhi, my everything. There is something that is, intrinsically, connected, related to that. That is the superior self or that is the ultimate self. So that is, almost every person, even the worst kind of a fool or a person who has not touched any scripture or anything, such a person also has an intuitive idea of this. But then, still our doubts don't go. Constantly we are always in a kind of a doubt. What is it? What is it? See, for the 99.999 mankind, this question doesn't arise at all. That's why, Gita also says, Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschitati siddhi yatatapi siddhanam kaschimam vedi tatpata. So thousands and thousands of people hardly a few hear about it. And thousands of such people, a few reach the ultimate goal, they say. So, but intuitively, everybody is feeling. So, in whom that desire, that thirst has arisen, what is this? Somewhere or other, if you sit and think, or to somewhere it gets ignited. This search for the supreme, search for the ultimate, search for the true knowledge of the ultimate. Either over years of following certain things, etc., or through something which is very sudden, very drastic, that has brought about a great change in the existential life circumstances, then only humans turn towards something, a deeper pursuit or a deeper something. So, in such happens, nothing seems to satisfy. We are in a zone of uncertainty, ये भी पता नहीं, वो भी पता नहीं, लेकिन चुप भी नहीं रह पाते. You cannot keep quiet because it has got ignited. That curiosity has got ignited. You want to know what it is. But given the instruments, given the capacities, given everything, we are not able to. So then, how it is to be finally Bhagavad Hero But the result it is given, Atmadiro Harshashoko Jahati, who goes beyond Harsha and Shoka, goes beyond pain and pleasure. Going beyond pain we understand. Would anyone like to really go beyond Sukha? अच्छी चीज की पार कोई जाना चाहते हैं? Would you like to give up pleasure? Any thinking person, deeply contemplative person will know, because Harsha is also another form of Shoka only. Because Sukha is time bound, temporary, anitya. The moment it goes, it generates in us the desire to have it again. That's what Gita says, no? Dhyayeto Vishyan Pumya Sankasteshu Bhujayate Sanga Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodho Vijayate Krodha Bhavati Sammoha Sammoha Smriti Vibrahma Smriti Vibrahma Buddhi Nasho Buddhi Nashat Pranashati. And he says, why? It started with Sukha only. You had something, you experienced it, that led that memory, you start thinking about it. By thinking about it, you get attached, you want to get it. If you don't get it, you get anger, and then moha, then delusion, then complete loss of everything, and total distraction. So sukha is also dukkha in another form. Dukkha, straight away we feel the suffering, we pain, etc. Sukha temporarily gives us a feeling of happiness and well-being, but dukkha is waiting in the wings to come to the forefront. कुछ समय की बात वो सामने आ जाए, पहले तो पीछे है, छुपा है, but it will come forward. So that's why he says, Dhira, Dhiraha, Hashasoko Jahari. Though they go beyond Sukha and Dukkha completely. So normally, what is this idea of going beyond Sukha and Dukkha to Atma Jnana? See, in every other thing, every other kind of feeling, there is at least something in the form of a bija. Whenever, even if everything goes away, whatever it is, because in the chitta, it leaves a bijakara vritti. Whatever we experience, it lays its impressions there. So something, even if apparently sukha and dukkha, they get over also, there is something in the form of a bija, the seed that is there. Only when they are removed through this kind of a self-revelation or Atma-jnana, then only they go away completely. Otherwise, quite often people forget dukkha. Anything happens, then we are back to our activities, everything happens, again it sprouts. कहाँ से अंदर से, अरे ऐसा हो गया, ऐसा हो गया. So even anything, sukha and dukkha also, normally, even if they are got over, they are really not good, because there is some kind of a seed form of impressions are always there, they will always be there. Only when they are completely eradicated or when they are completely got over through these kind of revelations or this kind of knowledge, then only it is possible to completely get over them. Then it says, then what is the thing, what is it that we have to know this? How do we know it? We cannot see it. It is, although it is deep within, it is in the Hridaya only. Why can't we see it? Why can't we experience it? That's why he is using another word. Gahvareshtam, deeper it says, Guhahitam. See, as if it's a covering. Suppose there is something which is there, it's covered on all sides by walls. After so although it is there in the heart, it's deep within, but it's completely covered by different kinds of ajnana, different kinds of covering, etc. In such a way, it's totally covered. So earlier also in some other context also this was seen that there are various kinds of covering. In Gita it talks of just as the womb covers the embryo, like that the fire is covered by snow, and then the arsha, the mirror is covered by dirt. Various ways, various types of covering. They have different natures, sattva, raja, tama. But then all these coverings make it absolutely impossible for the self to be seen or to be realized or anything at all. But then what is this ultimately Adhyatma Yoga Adhigamit? What is this Adhyatma Yoga? Through that one can See, whatever it is, in the nature, in God's creation, or whatever it is, we have only these things, mind, buddhi, etc. These are all the things that is available to us. But using this, you have to go beyond them ultimately. That is the way, that is the goal. So, in this point, it says, the type of knowing here, the type of seeing, is not like any kind of a pratyaksha jnana. It is that's why they say, when through this, the Matmadhira, they do so many, all these practices, like Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Japa, meditation, Dhyana, all these practices, they are all only the preparatory steps or efforts. They do not directly lead to the ultimate knowledge or the ultimate realization. Because the ultimate realization, if it is to be got through this, then it becomes within the bounds of the Indriyas. Then it cannot be said, क्या यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा स अवाम मनसा गोचरम. So if it is beyond mind, if it is beyond buddhi, if it is beyond all that, obviously we cannot realize it. But what happens there, they say, I think it's in the commentaries and the explanations by various saints, it is like, at that point, all the coverings, the bondages, the agyan, they are totally removed. That's why in the pure classical Advaita also, they don't talk of any realization. रिलेशन ऐसा कोई नया मिलना नहीं है, नया कुछ प्राप्त करना नहीं है, जुगाड़ नहीं है, nothing new. That's why their classical example, suppose there is a mirror, it's full of dust, completely covered, it doesn't reflect anything at all. If you remove all the dust, is anything new added to the mirror? No. It is shining in its original glory, it's able to reflect completely. So in this Adhyatma Yoga also, all these practices, all these sadhanas, all these disciplines, they are all so necessary. Why? Otherwise you will fall in the get of praise. To protect, because you see, if you deviate, go into the path of bhoga, praise, etc., you are completely lost. In order to prevent all these are all more by way of preventive measures. Discipline, vairagya, viveka, sadhana, मन से जो करना, निधिध्यासना, श्रवण मनन, they do not directly lead to that ultimate. Ultimate thing is all these things slowly result in the removal of all the ajnana or the covering or the various layers of ignorance. When all these are removed, then Atma, which is Swayam Prakasha, it is self-revealed, and the person who realizes that is also in that. He becomes one with that, and is also a self-realized or self-revealed person. So there is nothing specially, it is not like all these things are leading to any other, because if it again becomes another experience, then it will become one within the bounds of the indriyas or the senses. So it has to be beyond that. At the same time, for our sadhana, our practices, for our striving, what we have is only all this. So using that largely to protect us from going astray, going the other way, protecting the mind, protecting our buddhi, protecting our tendencies, protecting our indriyas, etc. And then, at that time, when all the obstacles are removed, or see, supposing if a कहने अंदर में है, अब सब दीवार तोड़ दिया, आपको तो उसके लिए क्या कुछ दिखाना है, then automatically it becomes revealed. So otherwise, all the experience, all our revelations are all because of that light only. That's why it is always, we know that intuitively is I, the self, is within the realization of everybody in an intuitive way. Because all our knowledge, the mind is jada, it has nothing. Because of the light of the Atman, the mind has the capacity to see, to make the senses function, feed all the information back to buddhi and so on. Similarly, buddhi, again it shines because of the light of the Atman. Everything, what we see, supposing all the objects in the world are they revealed? Supposing there is no sunlight, even if a big boulder is near you, you can't see. You need the sunlight. But who brings light to the sun? It is the Atman. Otherwise, because when there is no light, when there is nothing, what is it that you see? How do you see? It's because it's the light of the Atman only. When it's absolute darkness also, you see within yourself, there is a perception that it is there. That is because of the light of the Atman, they say. So, the sloka you can say it is 15. Sarve Veda yat padam amananti tapamsi sarvani cha yad vadanti yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrihena bravini omikyetan. So he says that goal which the Upanishad praises the highest. Sarve Veda yat padam amananti, which we praise as the highest. Tapamsi sarvani yat vadanti. Only the austerities revealed. Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti. Those who are prepared to practice that brahmacharya, I will tell you that it is Om. So naturally, because however much even Yama tries, knows that there are limitations as far as words are concerned. Words cannot completely reveal Brahman or the ultimate or the Atman. So in various ways he is trying to give him indications whereby Nachiketa can get slowly a grasp of that ultimate truth. As he says, that which is the highest which one can be imagined. So, Om Itetat, if Brahman is to be identified with sound, it is Om. Because that is in which all the letters, all the sounds are originated from that. Just as Om is the source for all the sounds, for everything. Similarly, Brahman is the highest for all the knowledge, for everything, it says. So, this is a symbol through which Brahman can be imagined. So, it's the most appropriate symbol that can be conceived of. So, obviously the symbol and the thing indicated by them are not one and the same, but then they have something. Brahman includes everything, Om includes everything related to sound. That's what Avama says, Brahman. So, the Upanishad, they speak of the highest. Obviously, the Brahma Jnana, Atma Jnana is the highest in all the which they speak of. And it's possible only to Tapamsi Sarvani Chaitranti. All the austerities they reveal, they speak of that only. And then one has to practice an intense life, then only it is possible like that. So, then we come to Sloka 18, chapter 2, 18. Najayate minite va paschit, nayam kutaschit na babhuva kaschit, ajo nityas shashvato yam purano, nahanyate anyamane sharire. Almost he has taken the Gita is taken from here only, Panehi to the Upanishad. Najayate minite va kutaschit, nayam utva bhavitavana bhuyana, ajo nityas shashvato yam purano, nahanyate anyamane sharire. Same thing. So he says, the self is not born. Only that which is eternal, everlasting, which is obviously it is no birth and no death, but is there. The other is the only thing that is. Nothing else is there. So you see, najayate na mriyate. Nayam kutaschit na babhuva kaschit. Is not a born of something, nor is something born of it. ऐसे नहीं कि जिसका जन्म ही नहीं है वो किसी से उद्भव हुआ तो बोलना तो इट्स ओनली एडिंग टू द सेम आइडिया. जो किसका ही जन्म नहीं है वो किसी को जन्म भी नहीं देता है. It doesn't, nothing is born of it. Then ajo nitya, it is without birth, it is eternal, shashvata, is unchanging. Purana, very ancient, always. Purana api number they say. Even it's maybe ancient, it is always new and always that is the nature of Purana. Normally, when something becomes old, it loses some of its characteristics, some of its gunas, etc. But when it says Purana, that means although it's very ancient, yet it is ever new or never loses any of its characteristics or gunas, etc. Nahanyate anyamane sharire. So the body perishes, the self never perishes. It is neither does it kill, nor is it killed along with the destruction of the body. Even if the body perishes, Nahanyate, it does not perish. So again, here Yama is trying to give Nachiketa a more slowly is taking him to more and more specific answer. He asked, some say after death there is nothing, some say there is something. What is the truth? That's what Nachiketa was asking. Now he's saying it is such that it is eternal. There is no birth, no death. Even if the body dies, it clearly answers here Nachiketa's question. Even if the body dies, it does not die. It is there. It is eternal. So, of course, if someone has even a small idea of that, even to see realization is something very, very, very far away. Even by when you read texts like this constantly, even at that's why the day I was talking to our Siraj also. One great idea of Advaita. Advaita is the only thing that can completely in one swipe remove all your existential problems. Existential problems cannot be removed by any other school. Because we have seen again and again great devotees, only son, only daughter dies, great devotee family, some spastic child or some autistic child. Why Maharaj? We are devotees, we daily worship Kathopnishad, Swamiji, why? How do you answer? So the existential problems, dukkha, sukha, etc. From the world of Vaita you can never solve. See, the only way, there are also solutions possible. Suppose you completely surrender to God. See, because everywhere, whether it is Vaita or Dvaita, our problem is we are not ready to go whole hog. We are always midway between. A little here, little there. Sometimes faith, sometimes loss of faith. See, how do true devotees take it? Anything happens is God's will. Something is to die, yes, die. It's God's will only. Then they also go beyond Harsha Shokho Jahati. They also go beyond sorrow and suffering. Because they know whatever happens, I have just a hold on to Thakur, Swami Jiva, whichever God I believe. I know that whatever happens is their will. They are guiding me. That's a very, very, very strong, only advanced thing. So normally, just practitioners level, it's not possible. But in Advaita, even at the level of a practitioner, you can understand it. Because everything is anitya. The world is nitya. World is false. So whatever happens in the world is false. So very easily, this is the only way you can, otherwise, even however much you may say karma phala and this and that. In tsunami, several lakhs people died. Where the karma phala is so designed that so many should die together. Very difficult to explain. Word can never be word this way. Thakur himself says you can never explain the word. It's God's play, you can say, something like that. But if you have this little deeper understanding of the Advaita, even at the level of intellect, it can clearly help you overcome some of the existential problems. You can clearly understand, yes, this is the nature of the world. It's anitya, it's impermanent. It will come, it will agama, paino, nityam, tam, vikrispa, bharata. It's of the nature of coming and going. Why are you bothered? Why do you worry about that? That kind of an attitude is possible if you have understood it very deeply. But otherwise, it's very, very difficult to live in this world constantly, because samsara itself means that sukha and dukkha constantly, one form or other, keeps on happening in everybody's life. How to overcome or how to live with all that, that's a big problem. Actually, there's how a person is, if someone is like that, how it can really uplift one, or how the type of strength that one can have. Because it seems the great Alexander, when he was about to leave India, he met a great yogi. This person was such a great Jnani, realized soul. And he was, actually, he didn't even have clothes, he was a digambar. So, Alexander told him in many nice words, he wanted to take him to his country. So, please come with me, I will get you these. He laughed at all that. I don't need all that, I'm very happy, I don't want to come. So, after all that, finally he became so angry, he drew his sword, and do you know that I can kill you right now? And this man burst into laughter like anything. He was laughing, what are you saying, you fool? You kill me? You mean this body? That was, at that time, it was struck. That what a true jnani can. If one is really, actually, one of the, see, jnana and all, so looks very nice, but when you actually, what is the real sign? How to understand? See, it was the Ramana Maharshi. He had a huge carpet in the arm, huge one. The doctors wanted to operate. They said, Bhagavan, we have to give you anesthesia, it's a huge operation. Why? He simply extended his arm and they operated. That kind of absence of body consciousness. See, what is the idea? Otherwise, anyone can, if you read a few books, you can also quote and you can also pretend to be a great jnani. What is the real test? What happens when you are subject to anything bodily discomfort or harm or whatever it is? That kind of a supreme state of mind. Always never worry about the body and whatever happens to you. So the sign of all that is, how do you understand how much this idea of body consciousness needs us? How much we feel that we are free from the idea of body and mind. That is a test. Then only you can understand. Otherwise, intellectually it's a very satisfying philosophy. It's very nice. You can read and you can quote also. But then that will not finally give us anything very lasting. So that's why now he slowly, revealing to him the more and more the nature of Atman, inner secrets. Now in this, for example, clearly he has given an answer that even if the body dies, it is not destroyed. So that means the self is real, is permanent, he has clearly told Nachiketa. So we take it after this break.